everyone, my name is Kristen. I'm a museum educator for the Providence Children's Museum. Today I'm going to read to you the story of Ferdinand by Munro Leaf with drawings by Robert Lawson. I really love this story. It's special to me because Ferdinand is a bull from Spain and I was born in Spain. All right, let's dive in. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. Butting heads means bonking heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he was lonesome when he was all by himself. "Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head?" she would ask. But Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. On this tree, they have marked his height as he grew taller. I wonder if you have that at your house, maybe in your kitchen, on the door frame. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in a very funny hat to pick the biggest, fiercest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfight in Madrid. All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting and jumping and leaping so that the men would think that they were very strong and fierce and would pick them. They were showing off, weren't they? Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So he went out to the pasture and sat under his cork tree, to sit under his cork tree. And here he is, about to sit down. What is in his way? He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Ouch. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. Doop. And that is just what the bee did to Ferdinand. How do you think Ferdinand's going to react? What will he do when he gets stung by the bee? Wow! Did that hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting and butting and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. The 5 men saw him and they shouted with joy. Here was the largest, fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. Oh no. That's not what Ferdinand wanted at all, but he had been stung, and that's why he jumped and snorted and leaped and was so fierce looking. It was because he was ouch, he was hurt. So they took him away for the bullfight day in a cart. Here he is. Here's all the horses. They have to go quite a long distance. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. Can you see the flowers? They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the bandileros with long, sharp pins and ribbons. And those sharp pins and ribbons were to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears also to stick the bull and make him more mad. And then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome, and he bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword, and he was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Then came the bull, and you knew who that was. It was Ferdinand. Does he seem very fierce? They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandileros, they were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador, he was scared stiff. Look, he has perspiration. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought it was going to be a fierce fight. But not Ferdinand. When he got into the ring, he went to the middle and he saw the flowers and all the lovely ladies' hair, and he sat down quietly and he smelled. Just like when he's under his cork tree smelling flowers. He wouldn't fight. He wasn't fierce, no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled and smelled. And the bandileros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador, he was so mad, he cried. Because he couldn't show off his cape and his sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home again. And for all I know, he is sitting there still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. And he is happy.